Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Well, it's 7:30 on Saturday the 9th of November. After the rain overnight, we woke up to a very hard frost this morning. On the way down to the land, as you can see, it's a little bit foggy. The sun is trying to get out, so hopefully it'll be a nice day. What we're going to get done today? Well, let's find out. There's a bit of an example here of the fields that I'm passing on the way down to my land. As you can see, very flooded. Well, here we are down on the land. As you can see, quite a hard white frost this morning. Don't know what the temperature is. I would say it's either just hovering on or just under freezing. Sun is trying to get out through the trees. I think it might struggle this morning. Anyway, we're here. Get cracking with finishing off the polytunnel, hopefully, and see what other little jobs we can get done before we lose the weekend. Just taking a look at the drainage on the land before I get started. You can probably see there's a line runs from the gate post there all the way across the field, which is a very shallow trench. It pools here in a tiny little pool. It's only a couple of foot across. There seems to be another one disappearing off there across the field, not quite as distinct as that one, but then when you get to this little junction here, it starts to travel off towards the bottom end of the top end of the field, but stops around about here because the ground actually rises up. So I'm just wondering if it's worth continuing on digging out a trench across, because it does flow naturally down here towards the pond. You might remember that yesterday this had quite a bit of pooling around it. That's now disappeared, which is a good sign. But yeah, if I carry this trench on down here, and then it doesn't really matter, I guess, which way it goes. Might be better off to go this way around the pond, because that seems to be where the runoff was yesterday. There is a tiny little bit left here. It's more boggy ground than it is standing water. Yeah, continue it round here, because this is where it seemed to run off yesterday, and then down into the ditch. Pond is still looking good, holding water. We'll see how we get on with that. But this is the project for today, is finish off this polytunnel. Get the cover on. I've brought some extra clips to clip down the frame. I ran out yesterday when I got to the front of the tunnel, and I've also brought some strips of wood which I'll use once the cover's on to fasten the cover to the sleepers, just as an extra bit of security to stop it blowing away in the wind. But anyway, sun's peaking, it is chilly. I've got the camper van engine running just to warm it up and make sure that it doesn't suffer from being parked down here for long periods. But I think I might have a cup of coffee before I set off. We'll see. Just taking a quick opportunity to look around the rest of the land to see if I've got any similar issues with standing water. I'm right on the edge here by the wood line, and all of this entire length of the wood line is actually quite solid underfoot. It's not wet at all. The centrepiece, again, not wet at all. The edge running down from the gate towards the bottom of the field, again, not wet at all. Passing through what was the thistle forest, heading towards the bottom corner, and it does start to drop down now towards the road, and there is some standing water just in this corner. You can probably see it just coming up now. There's a small piece here. This general area dropping down towards the road is quite wet underfoot. The edge isn't so much, but here in this corner you can see there's a little bit of standing water here, so I might be inclined to drop another little drainage trench somewhere around here, cutting across between these two little pools. I say pools, not more than an inch in depth, and drop a trench down into this bottom corner. You can see it drops quite significantly here. Again, this is not pooled, so there is a distinct dip from here there where it is pooling. So if I put a little drainage trench straight out into this corner, I think that should solve that problem. So yeah, not as bad as I thought yesterday. Anyway, that coffee's going cold and I need to get started on the polytunnel. Brought a few bits and pieces with me today for the polytunnel. This stuff here is like a self-adhesive foam strip, a bit like draft excluder, I guess. And the idea is that you run that across the outside edges of the polytunnel frame, and it'll stop the wind movement on the plastic fabric of the polytunnel from rubbing against the bare metal tubing and wearing away the actual plastic outer covering. And these are the strips of wood that will be going along the sides, only thin, 15mm by 38 I think it is, something like that, or 16 by 38, and they'll just screw in to hold down the edge of the polytunnel against the sleepers and stop the edges lifting up, and obviously helping to stop the polytunnel from blowing away in the wind. So that's the bits I've brought with me today. Just giving the polytunnel a quick wipe down, because clearly it's been wet yesterday and freezing overnight, so it is covered in lots of water and icicles. I want to make sure that that adhesive foam does actually stick to it, so I'm just wiping that down. Also noticing that, as I thought yesterday, the structure is a little bit flimsy. I think it needs some kind of a brace across this back panel, so I'm going to have a little dig around and see what I've got that could brace that. Anyway, give that a couple of minutes to dry out and we'll get on with the adhesive strips. I managed to find some steel tubing that I've rigged up across that back panel there, just to give it a bit more support. I think what I'll end up doing, probably once the cover is on and I'm able to to do something inside, I'll probably put some kind of raised bench across the inside, build a framework, and that'll also help stabilise from the inside as well. So I'm going to put some more clips on the bottom tubes to fasten them to the sleepers, where I didn't manage to do yesterday because I ran out, and then it'll be ready for the tape to go on and then the cover to go on. Well, that's the protective foam tape applied all around the outside of the frame where the outer cover will touch it. So hopefully that will stop it rubbing and wearing through the outer fabric. I guess we'll see. That's about as much as I can do now until reinforcements arrive. Well, reinforcements have arrived and we've managed to transport all that timber that was delivered yesterday at the house. So at some point I could start cabin making, but for now I just want to get cracked on with the polytunnel. Well, that's the cover on. Got the wood, got the drill. Surprising what a difference it is with two people. So get some wood laid on to tighten the cover down onto the sleepers. There's the first lat on, just to hold some tension, and we'll continue along around the other side. So one side done, got to pull the other side tight now and repeat. Second side done, so onto the back. So that's the back done. Back, side, side. Take a little look, see what needs doing at the front. So there we go. Polytunnel is officially up. Fastened down with the wood strips on the sides and the back. I need to do a little bit of modification at the front because I want a little bit of a flat deck kind of area where those two sleepers come out. I've deliberately left them so I can board over the front. So until I've done that, I don't really want to be tying the front of the tunnel down. And then we've got the other side. So very nice. Time to go home and have a well-earned rest and something to eat. So there we go, that's another day done on the land. Productive, polytunnel's there. Thankfully the rain's held off, so get packed up, shut the gate and go home.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of use to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.